Controversially, the Millennium Stadium becomes the 43rd different venue for an FA Cup semi-final. The first in Wales, only the second outside England after Merchiston Castle School in Edinburgh, long before cameras captured all the action. So those formative years of the FA Cup do provide one similarity with today. The first 9 semis were all staged at Kennington Oval, the venue for each of those early finals. No record of anyone saying it took the gloss off the climax then. But it's amazing how what goes around comes around. Arsenal have often fielded FA Cup teams without Thierry Henry by choice, including last season's semi-final, but he is absent today through injury, which means Dennis Bergkamp starts for the first time since the quarter-final. Freddie Ljungberg celebrates his 28th birthday with a comeback from a hip problem. The midfield quartet of Ljungberg, Vieira, Gilberto and Perez are together for the first time since September. At the back, Sol Campbell still hasn't satisfied Arsene Wenger that he's ready for a return, so Philippe Senderos, who's still only 20, keeps his place.
Not a lot you can say about...
I'll say a little bit about Blackburn. They patched up both David Thompson and Gary Flitcroft, who needed stitches during last Saturday's set 2 with Southampton. And Stephen Reid, who came off with a calf strain, he's okay as well, so they are unchanged. Robbie Savage, still not quite right, he told me half an hour or so ago. He played 70 minutes in a midweek reserve game, but he's on the bench and he's ready if required. Andy.
Well, everyone expects Arsenal to go on and win this, even without Thierry Henry. But I think the main reason is the one you mentioned. It's that quartet of midfield players. It's imposing, it's powerful, it's talented. It is Arsenal at their best, and they have it back for the first time, and it's great news for them. And ahead of that, you look at Reyes. OK, he is short of a little bit of form and goals, but if he just turns it on along with Dennis Bergkamp, it just might be a combination that Arsenal enjoy today. And at the back, without Campbell, yes, but with Senderos, I think he's been in good form, the young lad, and he will love this stage, that's a certainty. All the questions are about Blackburn Rovers and what they can do and what they will do. It's a real familiar system that Mark Hughes is playing today. It's the one that's got them away from the bottom of the Premiership and into relative safety. The big thing for me is if Flitcroft, Reid and Makuena can keep Arsenal quiet in that area, and I don't mean all the way across, I just mean centrally. I think if you're going to let Arsenal have the ball, let them have it wide and then deal with the crosses. They don't have a great aerial threat, Arsenal. So therefore, the trio of midfield players have got to shore it up right in front of the 2 centre-backs, Todd and Nelson. And if they can do that and force Arsenal into wide areas, it might be in their favour. What they have to do, though, is when they get the ball, make sure you get some support quickly up to Paul Dickoff, because you can bet he's going to need it.
Cosmopolitan Blackburn Rovers, they've got the captain of South Africa, Aaron Makuena, the captain of New Zealand, Ryan Nelson. And they have a Welshman, of course, at the helm in Cardiff, Mark Hughes, for whom this competition has been very good. You can say the same about Arsene Wenger in management. 2 league games they've played together this season, 3-0 to Arsenal in August, when they were really flying. A much tighter affair at Ewood only 4 weeks ago, and it was 1-0 to the Gunners, the only Blackburn defeat in their last 9.
There you go, a little example there of what I think Blackburn Rovers are going to try and do. Gary Flitcroft, as soon as Bergkamp got it, right at him, a little nudge, a little niggle early on, letting them know he's around. It's not in Blackburn's favour to let Arsenal slip into a rhythm in this game.
Andy, what about Reyes and Bergkamp as a combination? We're going to talk a lot if Arsenal don't get going about Thierry Henry not playing.
Well, I think it's a combination that, when you look at it, should work. There's absolutely no reason why it can't. Reyes will drift right and will drift left rather than right. That's what Henry does. He likes to play in that area, from that area. So there shouldn't be any real difference in that, Martin. Reyes will be ahead of Bergkamp. He'll be looking to get in behind. Shouldn't be much difference in that. It's whether he can do half as well what Henry does.
Well, Dennis Bergkamp is being watched by our player cam here. All the interactive facilities available as usual if you're a Sky Digital viewer. And Dennis Bergkamp has 1 or 2 memories of FA Cup semi-finals, not all of them pleasant. is Colo Touré. Gilberto only his third game back after that long-standing back problem. Perez being pressed. Blackburn will want to get in and about Arsenal. There's no question about that. They've got a game plan. It's a system that's worked well. And here's David Thompson. It's the former Arsenal player, of course, Paul Dickoff, who began his career at Highbury. Actually went to a cup final just to watch, but as a member of the Arsenal staff back in 1993, when I suppose Alan Smith was one of the men who kept him out. He's just offside here, but he's so wholehearted, Dickoff.
Oh, yes.
Scored against his last club in the quarter-final to knock out Leicester. Could he do it against his first club?
Well, he's a pest, isn't he? And the one thing that Touré and Senderos will know at the end of this game, that they've been involved, that's for sure.
Senderos on the ball here. He's the only Arsenal player never to have played on this ground before. Of course, so many of them have played here so often. It's the 7th time Arsenal have had a fixture here. FA Cup finals, Community Shields, of course. But this is a semi-final, which brings its own particular stresses and tensions. Played by Matteo, controlled by Flitcroft, experienced players both. Neil, looking out Dickoff. Pedersen is an intriguing player on the Blackburn left, who's certainly come good under the management of Mark Hughes. He was signed by Graham Souness, who didn't see too much of him before he parted company with Blackburn Rovers. And Reyes trying to get away here. The referee, incidentally, is Steve Dunn. And he doesn't seem to have seen anything wrong with that.
Well, the linesman's right there. I think Steve Dunn didn't have a good look at that, but the linesman couldn't have been any closer. Reyes thinking that Matthews just blocked him off. Might have had a case.
Dave Batsky, the man with the flag, said no. Senderos, who's now a full international with Switzerland. He played 2 games in the last international break, and they didn't concede a goal, his country, in either of them, one against France. So he is promising at club and international level. Stephen Reid.
Just a little bit anxious to play that, I thought. With a little bit of grass, Stephen Reid, and Dickoff was never set to get in behind Touré.
A great kick by Lehmann, chested down to Thompson by Flitcroft, and if they're going to dish it out a bit, Blackburn, they'll expect some in return, and Patrick Vieira, a stern competitor in that crucial part of the pitch.
But they'll take it there, Mark, they'll take it right this situation. It's early on in the game. They've got a free kick, certainly within shooting range. And you've got to take it on. Just test the goalkeeper. He's not touched the ball yet, Lehmann.
Well, Pedersen is eyeing it up, lining it up. Arsenal got their wall in place, 5 in it. Pedersen gets it up over the wall, but also up over the bar.
It's always a pity when that happens. Well, we talk about working the goalkeeper, and people think, well, you know, it's just an old saying, work the goalkeeper, but it's hugely important to do it, and particularly when he's not in the touch of the ball.
He's a player who's made big strides this season, and he's quite interesting in that he was a right-footed player until he was about 13 or 14. And suddenly found in his later teenage years that the left side got stronger, and here he is in the cup semi-final taking free kicks with his left foot. It's handball by Reid, but the referee plays the advantage. So it can be done for youngsters watching who practice long and hard. Here is definitely a left footer, Ashley Cole. Bergkamp. Gilberto, but it wasn't a great ball, and it was a very awkward night and an awkward pace for Reyes.
But that's where Blackburn need to be tight. That sort of thing. They'll look to thread it in. Oh, that's a late flag. That's a late flag. I'd like to see that again, I tell you. He shakes his head, but it was very, very late. He might have been right, but it's close. Look at that, he's not off.
He's not right, he's
said
wrong.
That it was late flag, and Senderos, well, in Arsenal's case, he got it right because the flag went up, but they are very, very close to get away with that, Blackburn.
Dickoff. Such tight decisions, matches of this magnitude can be severely influenced. That really was very bad luck for Blackburn. Todd. Now Neil. Tiger is Thompson. Awkward for Cole. Well, it's sometimes hard to avoid seeing Ashley Cole on the ground in those circumstances if he feels that he is a modern-day footballer, I suppose. We have to describe it as such.
Well, David Robson shouldn't be giving him the opportunity. That's the simple case here. He's got him pinned right against his own goal line, going absolutely nowhere. So just ease the problem by giving a free kick away.
Ljungberg. Bergkamp and Reyes did play together up front in the quarter-final against Bolton. It's hardly a game to judge it by because, of course, Bolton played most of that game with 10 men. Arsenal's only Premiership opposition to get to this stage. And this is Blackburn's first. Arsene Wenger has brought Arsenal to the semi-final for the 7th time in the last 8 seasons. It's a phenomenal achievement. Mark Hughes played in 10 FA Cup semi-finals, including replays, and scored 5 goals. It's a stage for him as well when you look at his past. Slipped by Cole. Closely at this, the playing surface here, which is put down on pallets and moved in and out. It's a multi-purpose stadium. It's going to have to be more multi-purpose as the years go on, because they're going to lose this regular supply of matches from the Football Association. Maybe they'll get the semi-finals next season. I can confirm to you from the FA's head of media today, Adrian Bevington, no decision has been made on that. Here's Reid trying to make a good, strong decision with a run from midfield that's given Arsenal a problem and given Blackburn a free kick. Vieira says he got the ball. Steve, well, he did. Disagree.
The big question is, does he get Reid first? That's the only question you have to ask, sir. Yes, he does. Simple as that. That's what the referee saw. It was a definite free kick. You can't argue with it. But that's what Reid does very well in that central area. And I think Blackburn have started really well. Mark Hughes will be absolutely delighted. They've popped it about confidently. They've been on the ball. They haven't been chasing it too much. And this is a second opportunity from decent range to work the goalkeeper.
Pedersen and Reid having the powwow about it. Both scored last Saturday in a vital Premiership game against Southampton. Reyes trying to be a charger just out of your picture. Reid hits it and Lehmann holds it.
Good save. But that's why you want them. Just in the off chance it might just come off the goalkeeper. Lovely strike. Nice and crisp and clean. Not really any charge in the ball there for Arsenal.
Lauren. Challenged by Morten Pedersen. Rovers have been looking for unlucky omens, as you do on days like this. The last time they reached the FA Cup final, they beat neighbours Burnley along the way after a replay, just like this time to get them to the semi. They're in the north dressing room. Their fans are in the north stand, which is as it was when Blackburn beat Spurs here in that League Cup final in 2002. They haven't filled out the stands, though, with their allocation, unlike Arsenal. And unlike Newcastle and Manchester United tomorrow, it is a sellout. 30,000 fans here backing the Gunners. Around 16,000 to 17,000 for Blackburn.
Thinking Villa Park would look nice today, back to the Gunners.
Well, you know who to tell. Here's Todd, Neil, McQuain is holding midfield role, happy to get it and give it. Gets it again from Reid. Gives it to Neil. Reid's made a good forward run. Neil didn't spot him. Blackburn still keeping possession through the middle third. A bit of a taste of their own medicine.
Well, that's nice. That's Mark Hughes will be looking at that. Okay, they didn't progress too far, but it showed that there's a confidence in the play. They're prepared to pass it about, and if they use Maquena in that sort of area and get him on the ball, then there's no doubt that Gilberto and Vieira could have a problem in the 3v2 in there.
Matteo. He is at Liverpool, several at Leeds. Lauren. Now Toure. Bergkamp.
Well, it looked a Blackburn throw, but Dennis Bergkamp knows he's not going to get given the time. If Blackburn can get pressure on him when he's in possession, and we bet they will be.
Senderos. Perez scored the winner at Middlesbrough last Saturday when Arsenal had similar sort of problems breaking down a side that quite prepared to get plenty behind the ball. Now Lucas Neal's just had a little flick out at Robert Perez there.
Well, he's had a flick because he feels that when Perez went to ground, Perez had a little flick at him. That's what he was indicating to the linesman, saying, well, didn't you see this? And he's got this. You're going to see plenty of this today from Blackburn players. But he feels that as Perez goes down, just as a little flick at him. I don't think there was.
Vieira. Trying to take the free kick quickly. Blackburn had other ideas. There's a limit to what you can do to stop that. But
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to give the guy who's in front of you a chance to back away. And that's what Steve Dunn's not doing to Gary Flitcroft, because I don't think Vieira gave him an opportunity to back away. This is in these areas. I think Blackburn have got to make sure the ball goes there, where it is, into those wide areas. So I think you can deal with Arsenal better.
Gilberto crossing from a wide area. Some drops to Bergkamp. His turn is promising. And he gets Arsenal a free kick in a threatening situation. Hardly seen anything from them in attack so far, so well Blackburn have begun the game.
Gilberto back on the side, it does give him that little bit of extra height in a situation like this. He is a danger, the Brazilian, there's absolutely no doubt about that.
Matteo almost deflected Arsenal's way off too many Blackburn players in there. Strangely enough, that was how Arsenal beat Middlesbrough last week, a ricochet across to Perez. If the middle's robotic, sometimes you can have too many players back. Perez. Vieira, good closing down by Maquena. Now Reed.
That's a big ask, the game plan, to be pressing like that for 90 minutes. But that's what Blackburn have to do.
And we'll see plenty of Pedersen.
That's good. See, even that high up the pitch, if you don't disengage, but you stay with them, don't back away, you get yourself situations like this where you can get throw-ins, you can add pressure.
And a set piece. They've been short of goals, Blackburn. They've got the Premiership's lowest scorers against the Premiership highest scorers in the context of an FA Cup semi-final. Often it does take one, only one, at this stage of the competition.
Bit fussy there. There couldn't have been that much distance between where the offence took place and where he took it from. I think he agrees with me.
And Arsene Wenger spread his arms wide again. He's been talking to the fourth official, Mark Clattenburg.
Well, he might be talking to him quite a bit. Blackburn will break the game up, and if it means giving free kicks away around the halfway line, then they'll happily do that.
Senderos. Gilberto. He's gets it to feet. Perez. Bergkamp. Not really having anyone looking to run in behind. There wasn't much space, in truth, to run into. But Freddie Ljungberg looking from the opposite flank could pose that sort of threat. He's been a Cardiff goal getter at the puck in the past.
Oh, that's unlucky. A decent climb from Pedersen and a decent knockdown into an area. I thought someone had been coming onto it.
Vieira. He's trying to get away. The birthday boy, Freddie Ljungberg. Lauren. Senderos. Arsene Wenger, Andy, I'm sure you've read it. He's been a strong critic of the five-men in midfield approach, not just from Blackburn this season, but a lot of teams that Arsenal have played against. But the more you speak up against it, the more you're likely to face it, probably.
I have to say I'm not a lover of it, if I'm totally honest, Mr. Tyler. I think it doesn't make for the most entertaining of football, I don't think. I mean, I think you have to have certain players to make it look good, i.e. Chelsea. I think that is a... They have players from the really top bracket, the top end of the footballing spectrum that make it look good and make it work. But I understand why Blackburn have done it. They don't have a huge choice of strikers, people who are going to get them goals. So Mark Hughes and Mark Bowen have decided they're going in like this, and it's worked well in the Premiership, and they've proved hard to play against. They're unspectacular. I understand the people who voice their opinions against it. It's the most attractive way of playing football.
Bergkamp. Perez. Never accused Arsenal of being unattractive. They certainly haven't found the flow with which they began the season, on the back, of course, of their sensational league campaign of 2003-2004. Season in which they were also beaten in an FA Cup semi-final by Manchester United. Vieira trying to grab the game by the scruff of its neck here with Bergkamp. Matteo had to get plenty of height to that. There wasn't any immediate challenge on him, but he wasn't to know that.
That's the first real move, and they've worked the ball through that area they like, and that's that central area. A little 1-2. No real threat from Matteo. He's not under pressure. That's what I mean, that kind of thing. You'll get crosses going in, but there won't be too many Arsenal players flying in on the end of them.
Reyes takes. By Nelson. Lauren. Blackburn aren't happy. Still looking at the referee. That'll be a goal kick, as Pedersen stood firm against Reyes and sportingly contested there. Player camera now switching to Paul Dickoff.
I was in the conversation with the ball that came out to him on the edge of the box and the tussle he had with Lauren. He felt that free kick should have gone his way. It didn't.
Decisive, and it's flicked cross ball. It's taken down by Dickoff, who got behind Senderos. He's still learning his trade.
What a chance. Lauren, I think, had come round and played everyone onside, and a better first touch out in front of him would have given Paul Dickoff a shooting chance.
On from Vieira to Ljungberg.
It's been a bit like that for Reyes recently, in recent form. It's been bitty and patchy. Burst onto the scene.
He scored here, didn't he, in the Community Shield? He had a sensational start to the season.
Yes, he did.
A goal in each of his first 6 games.
But really nothing since then.
In the absence of Henry, it's important for Arsenal that Reyes puts in a good shift here. Bergkamp hasn't scored at the Millennium Stadium. It's a good ratio of goals against Blackburn, though. And he is at Highbury 10 years now.
It's good possession from Arsenal. It surprises me a little because I think Blackburn have plenty. Well, he's getting booked. It's a high tackle on its own, but it's the third one. Gary Flitcroft in 20 minutes. He had a couple of really early ones. Now he's just got to rein in a bit. And what Blackburn was saying, OK, that's him, got booked. Someone else's turn next.
Where Arsenal have also given Blackburn hope here is that they, with the greatest respect, Andy, they are a side that can bleat a bit, can't they?
Yes, they do. And people know that. People talk about it. And you see it there. Bergkamp's coming back, and Gary Flitcroft's pushing him out of the way, and Paul Dicko's having a word with a few of them. But this was high in its own. The ball comes down and he flicks it away from him. That's a nasty one. That in its own might well have been worth a booking, but the two previous ones just confirmed it.
Flitcroft himself took one last week against Southampton. Nigel Quasi, 8 stitches, which is still in place, and a shin injury for Flitcroft, but he's going to keep him out of a FA Cup semi-final. He missed the Worthington Cup final, as it was then, 3 years ago when he was suspended. One of a posse of Blackburn players who had to sit that game out. But waiting in the wings, but maybe not ready until the second half. Robbie Savage, who does feel that he hasn't shown even his own new teammates quite what he's capable of as yet in his short time as a Blackburn Rover. Controversial transfer, acrimonious departure from Birmingham. Gary Lewin has attended to Patrick Vieira. He has to go off before he can restart his participation in the first of the 2 FA Cup semi-finals in South Wales this weekend.
I think they've been excellent, Blackburn. Quarter of the game gone. Apart from getting a goal, it couldn't have gone much better for them.
And that wrong offside,
yeah,
he would have got a goal.
You think Dickoff would have got the rebound off the post there?
I do. Because he wasn't turning away, appealing to a flag, was he? He'd have kept on running.
Oh, he'd have been after it, yeah.
Gilberto. Now Toure and Senderos, for whom this is a very big game. His 16th appearance for Arsenal. Missed all of last season. His first season in England with injury. Toure. Saying big decision by Arsene Wenger. Sol Campbell will probably tell you he's fit to come back.
Would he?
Yeah, he would.
Well, there's a big decision. And I think when your big players are ready and they say they're fit, it's a surprise when they're not fit. I arrived here today and I thought it would be in my team. I had a minute, had to change it.
Yeah. Lauren. Arsenal able to pass it but not get very far with the passing because Blackburn are hustling and bustling, and when they're getting the ball they're showing that it's not just a holding operation here.
No, as I say though, that's the kind of system though, and the kind of game plan needs everyone to be tuned into it. Someone switches off in the wrong area, Arsenal are good enough just to pick that time and punish you.
McQuainer. Flagged offside. In a less threatening position. Ralph Bone is the...
They look more offside this time. As you can see, yes, just ahead of play. Can't really argue with that one, Paul. Although he will.
Well, there's Robin van Persie at the back of the Arsenal bench as Arsene Wenger lets fire to Mark Clattenburg, the 4th official again. But van Persie is the only player to have scored against Blackburn in their last 6 games. Of course, that was Arsenal's league game at Ewood Park, and it was a game that he shouldn't have played in because Freddie Ljungberg was injured in the warm-up. Amazing how things work out. Ljungberg plays today, and Percy waits.
This is frustrating for Arsenal. You can see that already. I think they work extremely hard just to keep any possession of the ball.
Gilberto. Senderos. Cole. Arsenal Need a patient approach. Can't get any penetrative football going though. Gilberto. Lauren. Blackburn, Andy, made no disguising of their delight when they heard yesterday that Thierry Henry wasn't playing.
Oh no, were they happy?
I think their first reaction was, is this a bit of a wind-up?
Yeah.
You know, pre-cup tie mind games. But I had a look last night, and the last 30 Arsenal FA Cup games, Henry started 12.
He usually starts the big ones, doesn't he?
Yeah, he didn't start the semi last year, but they lost, of course.
Yeah.
He came on a substitute at Villa Park against Manchester United.
No, he's given a foul throw there, Steve Dunn.
The longer it stays at 0-0, the more the absence of Henry, who incidentally just damaged a groin muscle slightly after a training session on Tuesday.
I have to say, it didn't look that far away from where Ashley Cole's thrown that in, that Derrison threw it in from.
Bergkamp. Senderos. It's all good for Lauren, and for Ljungberg. Matteo gets there first. And of course, this type of approach has its deficiencies. Is that if you're playing for a penalty shootout, you look at the records. Blackburn not good, and they've lost in the Carling Cup this season. They went out to Bournemouth.
No, I don't think they're playing. You can't set out the stall 120 minutes before penalties and say that's what we're going to play for. They're making life difficult. They're hoping they'll get a chance themselves and take it. But when people talk about Arsenal, what a fantastic football team they are, they're absolutely right. But it's when you come up against teams like this that maybe the likes of Manchester United and Chelsea have got alternatives, because Arsenal have never once in this game looked to knock it long, never once looked to stretch, either over the top into the corners just to work Blackburn, or into somebody who can deal with it, flick it on. And I think that is something that when they come up against a system like this that Blackburn are operating, that they just fall down on at times.
Neil's cross.
Get on your nerves, can't it?
Caused there by over-eagerness from the ball boys. Pires. Vieira, maybe suit to Arsenal to draw Blackburn onto them a bit, to have some space to break into. Reyes. One-on-one with Matteo. It's on his good left foot. Jose Antonio Reyes, but not good enough to beat Brad Friedel.
First shot in anger from Arsenal, really. And it all comes about from a break.
Flickcroft. Dickoff got himself in front of Toure. Actually had David Thompson coming in from the opposite flank, whether he saw him or not. Pedersen.
Good play from Dickoff though. That's what I mean. That kind of ball. You don't see Arsenal do that too often. And knock it over the top and stretch your back four. Always a team that likes to play.
It's easy to label Paul Dickoff as a professional pest. But it's the work rate that makes mistakes. But when he gets the ball, he's got good ability. Didn't get to Arsenal in the first place, as he did as a young player from Scotland, without that. Ipswich against Sunderland, what a big game that is in the Championship. Sky Sports 1 at noon tomorrow. Todd. Thompson. Large dominating Little at the moment, and Thompson frustration really at the end. He's going to get a yellow card. I don't think he had too many complaints about it.
Yeah, there's a little tussle here. It's little and large. You always think the physical presence of Vieira is going to win. It did.
It's had a few of those down the years, the spiky scouser.
Oh, yeah.
Was good enough to get into a couple of England squads not that long ago, David Thompson. Cole takes, doesn't take very well. Easy header away for Flickcroft. Blackburn try to push out, but don't push out too far. Watching brief, mostly for Lehmann, and indeed for Friedel. Ljungberg. Caught the challenge from Pedersen. Norwegian on a Swede. Gilberto playing a stray one. Blackburn continuing to break up the play, Andy.
Yeah, I think that's the case. Mark Hughes conscious of the fact that if the game gets flowing, then Arsenal are better suited, and you see there, for away just half an hour in, almost a free kick every 2 minutes.
Yeah. So when you look back over the Wenger years, and the Arsenal, for all their talent, have never really strutted their stuff in semi-finals. Notoriously a difficult fixture to do it in. 1-0 against Wolves, 1-0 against Middlesbrough. Come to mind, they are defending against the buoyant Blackburn Rovers, who are enjoying. Talk about the difficulties for their fans, but the supporters who have made it down here from Lancashire today will be very pleased with what they've seen in what could be the first third. Maybe it will be longer than 90 minutes.
Well, the way it started wouldn't surprise you.
Bergkamp passing to Patrick Vieira, one of the Arsenal players who has scored in an FA Cup semi-final. He did it against Spurs 4 years ago now. Of course, they then lost the final here to Liverpool with the magnificent finish and finishing Michael Owen.
Bergkamp, where to go there? Dennis Bergkamp. He's looking for a pass forward. Ljungberg and Reyes have run down the same side.
Vieira. Gilberto forward through the middle. Perez still playing it in front of plenty of players in blue and white. Andy Todd confident enough to get the ball down. Flick it to Thompson, move into midfield himself. Thompson takes it on. This is where it's difficult with just the one striker, so they have to go wide. They've got the width. It's not as if Arsenal didn't know what to expect here. Because the way Blackburn have been playing and moving their way away from the relegation area.
Close again now, but probably just about right. They're not right in line, but he tries to run across the line. Well, you can see again, Senderos is just playing him onside. The linesman's been very kind to Arsenal on a couple of occasions in this first half.
A couple of those 5 offsides, very questionable. Perez. Croft has to be more circumspect in his challenging now. And Thompson as well. Here's Dickoff. Neil. Just backing off. Has to play it back to McQuena. He's playing football in Belgium. To being given a trial at Blackburn. Arsenal have pushed out, and we're often surprised by replays, but I'd be surprised if that proved that.
No, that was well off. Even you and I could see that from here. But that was a little casual in their possession there, Blackburn. Invited a bit of pressure halfway line, almost lost the ball. There's so many men ahead of it. Would have been dangerous.
Reyes! Well, he's ended up down when he came between two defenders.
No, he's not going to get that. He's not going to get it because he chests it across Andy Todd, and then it's a coming together. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But that you're not going to get a penalty for that, ever.
Interesting, if they do get a penalty today, Arsenal, who would take it?
Perez has taken a few.
Yeah, Perez. Vieira's took one in this FA Cup run, actually.
I think this game has been pretty much as we thought. We've hardly had a goal-mouth incident to talk about. Don't concede goals recently, either of these teams. Make life very difficult, and that's the way it's proven at the moment.
Lauren. Vieira. Backed up by Gilberto. Now Ashley Cole. 8 minutes to go to half-time. Perez able to initially shake off Neil. Bergkamp. Reyes, great save by Friedel. Perez following up. That was the first real flash of the real Arsenal and the real Brad Friedel in the Blackburn goal.
Brilliant football. Both approach play and defending.
Cole. Goes down first by Dickoff, taken on by Pedersen. Well, Perez had a second go, didn't he, to come infield, and Arsenal worked it very well from there. Aquena.
That was Friedel at his very best. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And you felt that today, if they're going to win, the goalkeeper's going to have to do something like that. And it's an absolutely brilliant save. But look who gets in there as well. Is it Pedersen? Way back there, he throws himself in front of his goalkeeper after he makes this fantastic save to give his goalkeeper a hand. Great save, son. Great save.
Brad Friedel, of course, distinguished himself in a World Cup as well. He's turned his back on international football now. Won't play against England in a match we'll bring you live on Sky Sports at the end of May. USA against England in Chicago.
Bergkamp being quiet. He's not at this time and the space, but he didn't need it at the edge of the box here. It was just brilliant footwork. Reyes must have thought he'd scored. Opened up his body lovely, played it across Friedel.
Yeah.
Arsenal have needed that though.
Patrick Vieira was maybe accidentally trodden upon when he was on the ground. Picked himself up rather carefully. And waiting for Arsene Wenger to make his move into the technical area again, and here he comes. What sort of protection are we getting? I think that gesture says
it's a free kick. I can't believe Arsene thought that they'd arrive here today and Blackburn would stand back and allow them to pass it about as comfortably as they wanted with no pressure.
Toure. Lauren. Wants it back, gets it back. Toure. Senderos. Trying to move Blackburn around. Not an easy thing to do. Gilberto.
Blackburn won't mind as long as the ball is going, as you say, around them, like this.
Reyes trying to get in behind. This is Thompson.
Just have to be careful.
His old pal, Jason McAteer, red-carded in a semi-final last season.
Well, I'll have to see him, Mr. Tyler. If he hadn't already been booked, I'm telling you something now, he might well have got booked in. He made no attempt to play the ball, he just hacked him down. If he'd been booked, you just can't do that.
It could have been Ljungberg, yeah. Two players who get goals on the big stages for Arsenal. Two midfield men who pay their way, really, Just got to be careful here that this doesn't go from bad to worse. Having lost out in a football sense to a goal, but the disciplinary side doesn't see them reduced down to 10 men. Dickoff coming in on Senderos.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those tackles you see. It's a token gesture, and it's when he hits the ball and they follow through the leg. It hits against him. But this linesman got a bit busy with that. It'd be interesting to see what he decides to do, or what he is telling Steve Dunn. I see the word Dickoff mentioned. We know who it was who came across, but if you're asking me, did Paul Dickoff come across to do Senderos? Yeah.
Well, round for the conversation. Yellow card or not. I hope that that's what it's about. As to it's more what it seemingly was, because Dickoff doesn't get a yellow card. And we're starting to wonder whether it was a debate between yellow and red.
That would have been a nonsense if that had been the case.
But it was a long chat, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a long time.
Gilberto.
That's a real blow for Blackburn, so close to the half-time break. So many things have done well this afternoon, but now is a real test.
Well, this is the issue for Blackburn, really. Where are they going to get a goal from? Because that has been something that been making it stronger at the back, and my goodness, Mark Hughes needed to do that when he took over. One wretched game they had in his early weeks of his management when they were absolutely put to the sword at Chelsea. I know it can happen to other teams, but they were in disarray that day. When you tighten it up defensively, it's often at the cost of Sharp at the other end. Now the card is out for Toure here.
It's very difficult for referees sometimes for Arsenal, because...
Is it Toure kicking the ball away?
Yeah, it must have been. You know, when you're at the referee so often, every time one of yours is fouled.
Ball's been moved forward 10 yards. It wasn't Gilberto's foul.
Yeah.
2 minutes additional time.
But he's played the ball away, and the referee's taking exception to it.
Quainer takes, headed out by Senderos. Bergkamp, rather outwitted Thompson, and of course had to be careful again.
And Dominic Matteo having a little word with Cole there. Felt he had a little kick at him as he played the ball out. Might well have done.
Toure. Senderos. Cole. Vieira. Caught by McQuainer. Blackburn going to concede another yellow card.
This is lovely play from Vieira, just drags it away and pops it out. That's a free kick and a yellow card. You can't argue with that. But they need half-time, Blackburn. Mark Hughes needs to get his team in, decide what he's going to do. Arsenal would like the game to keep going now. They've got the goal, tails are up, confidence is flowing.
Arsenal, now they've scored, don't need to get drawn into this.
But they do.
But they will.
Yeah, they do, and they will. Yeah, it's part of their nature, they do.
Shrugs and moans and groans. Steve Dunn, of course, was the referee when they lost the FA Cup final to Liverpool 4 years ago. They weren't happy with him that day, Arsenal. He missed a handball by Stefan Ancho at a crucial stage. Henri not involved, I guess maybe the kick, which is his speciality. There for other Arsenal players. Anyway, Steve Dunn has said, got to wait for the whistle. That's the alternative. Maybe he offered the quick one to them. It wasn't taken.
This would be a kick in the teeth. Arsenal could pull something like that here and go into.
Between Neil and Cole behind the wall. Camp set it up. Colo Touré to hammer it. Kickoff came out very quickly. Out by Nelson. Work for Arsenal for 40 minutes or so. But then Robert Pires, a trademark moment for him, his 14th goal of the season. Magnificent total for a midfield player. Brad Friedel had earlier made a splendid save from Jose Antonio Reyes. Blackburn had settled into their game plan and were doing their job, but the goal has changed that at half-time in the Millennium Stadium. First of the two FA Cup semi-finals here this weekend. It's Arsenal 1, Blackburn 0.
Should make for a very different second half now. Crucial breakthrough. Alan Smith and Tim Sherwood, our guests this afternoon. Alan, who got an FA Cup winners medal with Arsenal. Tim, who skippered Blackburn to the Championship. His Rovers trail now to that Robert Pires goal.
May on Sky Sports, and the temperature is rising.
The FA and the Scottish Cup finals.
La Liga reaches its climax.
The finale of the Champions League.
The Premiership heats up in the battle for Champions League places and survival.
The agony and the ecstasy of the Football League playoffs.
Stateside, England take on the USA.
Too hot to handle. May on Sky Sports.
You're here, it's cold. The dodgy pies are 3 weeks old, but you're the heart of it all. Oh yeah. The rest is blind, you're 2-0 behind. Come on, but you won't go home at halftime. You know you won't, 'cause you're the cream of the crop. You're the cream of the crop. You're the real fan. You're the real fan. You're the best in football. You're the best in football. You're the real fan. You're the real fan. You're the heart of it all. Come on, and sing along with me now. There it is. Look at it, huh? You're not the customers! Oh. I'm loving my WKD side! He's just not got it! Have you?
The new Triple X gotta be more dangerous, more attitude.
More attitude?
Darius Stone no longer exists.
Who the hell am I?
You're the new Triple X. I want to give you a job.
Triple X to the next level.
You sure know how to pick 'em, sir!
And Wembley is alive as they attack again. Once again, the ball is worked down the flank.
N-Power do electricity.
But the referee's played the advantage.
N-Power do gas.
Ball in here and pick out a runner, and he has found a quality ball, and he has buried it!
And N-Power are the official energy supply to the incredible new Wembley Stadium.
Oh, the atmosphere here now, absolutely electric.
Yeah, OK, gas and electric.
And they'll give you the chance to win your own pair of Club Wembley seats, so you can be at every major football event until 2016. For details, go to wembley.stadium.com/npower.
How do we show our pay-as-you-go customers how much we value them? Wise men?
We should reward them every week. When they use £10, they should get £5 free.
In other words, we repay our prepay. That's genius. What's he saying?
We have a long journey ahead of us.
Well, I'll drink to that. There he goes. Uh-oh, moonwalking.
Chilled. Well, you wouldn't want a warm beer, would you?
As one of the world's foremost designers, I need space to carry the tools of my trade. The Ford Focus has inner space, outer space, and outer space. This is my genius box.
So, the tools of your trade are all packed, sir.
I'm watching you. Sometimes if I get into a space that is too small, I weep.
Got two games from the Premiership this coming Wednesday night. Sky Sports 1 from 7 will be building up to Chelsea against Arsenal at Stamford Bridge, including a look at what's going to be happening at Goodison on the night when Everton play Manchester United. That one kicks off at 8 on Sky Sports 2. Alan Smith and Tim Sherwood, our guests this afternoon. Alan, it took a while, but you are in front. Would you expect Arsenal to go on now and win it?
You would do, yes. I mean, it did take a while for them to find the feet. You know, Blackburn were really getting in amongst them, and they couldn't cope with it for a time. And Blackburn really bossed possession. But as that half wore on, you could gradually see them stretching the game. And the Blackburn lads were struggling to cope with the movement a little bit. And once they do get in that final third, Arsenal, they can be absolutely lethal, and so it proved.
Blackburn need a rethink, don't they? But where does a goal come from now?
I think you set them out the same way. They have a breather there. I think they're tired a bit. For 35 minutes, it was exactly to game plan. You know, they frustrated them. They kept the ball when they won it, but they didn't get forward. And we knew that was going to be a problem for them to create any chances. You know, their best chance was from a set. I don't think he would have committed himself too much on a left-footed cross, because he managed to overcommit and he cut it back on his right foot.
Well, I haven't seen Colo Touré do that before, mind you, in fairness.
The only other opportunity for Arsenal was the one from which Brad Friedel produced a fabulous save. The only warning, in truth, Tim, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Perez started to get on the ball a lot more, and once he gets on the ball, he always looks for Dennis and he gets him in them areas where he can just thread balls through the eye of a needle. And that's what he done there, and Brad stood up firm and made a great save from the Reyes shot. And Pedersen follows up here and makes a tremendous block on Reyes.
But you wouldn't expect to see Blackburn change yet, then?
No, not yet. I think you keep it, hopefully keep it at 1-0, you know, maybe nip something for the next 15 minutes, and then he might bring Savage on and maybe he'll go chasing the game, you know, a little bit more. But at the moment, you don't want to concede in the next 15 minutes because it really is game over then.
Should Arsenal have had a little more protection, do you think?
I think Steve Dunn's been on top of it, to be fair. He's produced the yellow card a couple of times. You are going to expect that, the way Blackburn play. Patrick Vieira's taken a couple of hits. Yeah, it's a football match, and to be fair, they have come through that. And Blackburn have got to be careful. A couple of the lads on yellow cards, so that's going to restrict them a little bit. But they can't afford to just come off that work rate that they did show. And as Tim said, they tired a little bit, but they've got to try and maintain that and keep the tempo going, Blackburn.
They trail Rovers by 1-0. What will be the response? We'll find out when we come back.
You have to block the keeper, and you have to believe you can score. My life is about keeping one step ahead. That's why my card is American Express.
you pick the phone, you fix the monthly bill. So you always know what's coming. You fix from T-Mobile.
Heavens! I forgot to renew the car insurance. Must telephone the broker at once. Telephone, dear? We're not in the dark ages. This is a job for Mr. Mouse. By going online to esure.com, the mouse cuts out the middleman and could save us a tidy sum. What a clever little mouse. I bought him some cheese. Calm down, dear. It's not a real mouse. Oh, I think he's asleep. esure.com. Great value car insurance at the click of a mouse.
Hey, Herman. What's that?
It's a server.
A server?
An on-demand IBM e-server. It can monitor itself, manage itself, optimize itself, protect itself, practically heal itself.
How'd it get here?
Maybe it ordered itself.
Self-optimizing IBM eServer X series with Intel Xeon processors.
Rockstar Games presents Midnight Club 3, Dub Edition. Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition, out now for Xbox and PlayStation 2, coming soon to PSP handheld, rated 12+.
Plaque is a major cause of gum disease. Fortunately, Listerine can reduce the buildup of plaque by half, compared to brushing alone. Listerine, great news for everybody, except dentists.
The special edition Motorola Razr Black V3, now exclusively available from T-Mobile stockists.
Hello, Moto.
Nice car, mate.
New Astra Sport Hatch. Go drive.
The Saturday night premiere in association with Panasonic.
Man is a myth, a legend, and if he's still living, he's the one you want.
Dry.
Do you want to know the secret to winning?
Hot.
Rig the game.
Vengeance.
I need you to kill the man. He's being paid to kill the president. So why me? Because you've got nothing to live for.
Johnny Depp, Antonio Banderas. Some legends don't know when to die. Once Upon a Time in Mexico, tonight at 8 and 9, Sky Movies.
There's 3 matches from Spain coming up over the weekend. This evening at 7 on Sky Sports Extra, 2 teams chasing Champions League places, Atletico Madrid and Espanyol. And tomorrow from 6, Levante against Real Madrid. They closed the gap at the top to 6 points by beating Barca last week. They play Getafe tomorrow. Sky Sports 1. Blackburn trail here, but it's not all bad news for everybody. Can you say that? 52,077 the official attendance, which in fairness means that they wouldn't have got them all in at Villa Park, but they would have got them all in at Old Trafford with room to spare. The second semi-final is here tomorrow, of course, when Newcastle play Manchester United. Alan Smith and Tim Sherwood, our guests. Arsenal in front by a 1-0. They'd take it, Alan, wouldn't they? But you suspect at this stage they won't settle for that?
All day long. I mean, they have got the ability now really to make Blackburn work, to pass it about. to use the full width of this pitch, because it is a big pitch. It can be tiring, just like Wembley used to be. So it will be tough for Blackburn now to try and wrestle the initiative back.
But it is only the one goal. Jonathan Stead amongst their substitutes. Tim, you said no changes yet. When would you expect to see a change then if it stays like this?
15, 20 minutes. If they're still 1-0 down, I think we'll see Stead and Robbie Savage come on.
Playing with a bit more confidence now, and he got that goal at Everton, and he might be a good weapon for them.
We are, of course, interactive. Sky Digital viewers can push the red button on the remote control, follow the instructions. You'll find amongst the facilities there player cam, and Pedersen will be following for the first quarter of this half. Arsenal lead. Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Richard. Arsenal ready to go for the second half with one exception. Paulo Torres has rather turned his back on the lineup and gone jogging away right down to the very goal line. And,
he does that. Do you know he does that beginning of it at half? Certainly at half-time, he runs away down to the corner with the 18-yard box, meets the goal line, touches it, and then comes back into position. I've watched him do that every time.
I think he just went to the spot on the pitch where he carved Blackburn apart. To set up the one goal in the first half for Robert Pires. For a reminder of a quarter-final between these clubs. 2001, when Arsenal won 3-0 at Highbury. Pires was amongst the scorers then. Gary Flitcroft, one of 3 Blackburn midfield players booked in the first half. Cole. Now Pires. Reed. Pires was running alongside him. Pires would have the temerity to suggest that Reed would have dived. Here's Matteo. Rovers needing some true Lancashire grit here. Underdogs very much at the start, and even more so at the start of this second half. Dickoff. Layman's have very little to do. Just a deflection on the cross and spiraled the ball up a little bit. Made it maybe marginally more testing with the spin. Todd. Challenge with Reyes. And a late arrival for the second half, the Arsenal manager.
Yeah, I'd be a lot happier though. That late goal should have settled this side.
Bergkamp. Gilberto. Hasn't been the happiest birthday yet for Freddie Ljungberg. He's hardly been involved in the game. I was told that he was given a birthday cake at the team breakfast this morning, but not allowed to eat it. Nelson.
Just looking at the Arsenal bench, and it looks like Fabregas is getting changed now. They must have a problem with someone. You just do not expect 3 minutes into the second half to be making a change unless it's enforced. So they might have had a problem. One of the lads and said, have a look, see how you go.
Well, it wouldn't surprise you if it was Ljungberg, would it? Because he's been really on the periphery of this game. He didn't play at Middlesbrough last week because of a damaged hip.
No, that must be it then. I don't see him in Gilberto, Vieira, Perez all getting about the pitch okay, everyone else.
Dickoff offside. Cole. Vieira. Cole. Arsenal would be unwise to be counting their chickens here. Particularly with clever play like that from Thompson. And the flight of the ball was misjudged by Toure, but also, fortunately for Arsenal, by Dickoff.
I just wonder if Reid gives him a call. You watch Stephen Reid's position here, edge of the box. Beautiful play, best attack they put together, but if Dickoff can get up, look at him, edge of the box, a little knock back to him. Might well have been the best option, but it is ready.
Substitution for Arsenal.
I see, shaking the head. He's obviously had a problem, you're right. He's aggravated something in the game.
And Cesc Fabregas, who played in his place at Middlesbrough. This is maybe where the aggravation occurred.
Just as a stretch there. No. It's when you know, a little stretch like that, it was simple, but it was enough to tell him. And there is no point in aggravating it.
Fabregas would prefer to play in the middle of midfield, there's no doubt about that. It did look a little bit a square peg in a round hole in the match at the Riverside. He's got a job to do here. Help Arsenal, at the very least, defend the lead. They can increase it.
I think it proves as well that they don't quite trust Van Persie yet, Martin, in many ways. You'd think naturally Van Persie and Perez would play wide positions quite comfortably.
Talking of wide midfield players, here's Brett Emerton, who has just fallen from grace recently. He's been a regular for a couple of years at Blackburn. He's only started one of the last 7 games now, including today. Sandros wants it to run. Wasn't going to do that. Flitcroft in pursuit, but he's given away the free kick. And Blackburn can make their change.
Substitution for Blackburn Rovers. Player number 5, Gary Flitcroft, is replaced by player number 7, Brett Emerton.
Well, this is a tilt towards a more attacking approach. It's not quite the same as bringing on a second striker.
It's going to be, well, what they're going to do with Pedersen, they're going to stick him up front. They're just looking at Mark Bowen, who was getting the instructions on there. Emerton's going to play left side. Pedersen now going to go up with Dickoff. So it's 4-4-2. Made that decision sooner rather than later. I think that's the right one. You know, they lose a goal in the next 10 minutes, people might say, well, it was just a bad decision. But you have to give your team enough time to get back in. Not as if you're going to carve Arsenal open time and time again. They've got a better defensive record than Blackburn's in recent weeks. I think 1 in the last 7.
Reyes. Perez. Maybe 1 or 2 extra gaps through midfield now that Arsenal can exploit. Fabregas, Lauren. Good save by Friedel from the spin and shot from Gilberto.
Not a spinning hit, it's a nice height for the goalkeeper. I would expect Brad Friedel to save this. Can only go that side. You know, this shot along the ground would have given him a lot more problems. But it's a nice height for him. Good strong hand away. Done nothing wrong, the Blackburn goalkeeper today.
The second corner of the day. Yes, makes it a deep one. Gilberto trying to set it up for others like Kolo Toure.
They just got caught a little bit here. It was taking the pick at the back post. Vieira and Gilberto both just back away from it. A little bit of space, but there's a challenge from Toure. Just jumps into the player.
Here's Pedersen a little further forward now. He is the second highest scorer behind Dickoff. And he started the cup run here in Cardiff. They play Cardiff City, of course, away and scored in the 3rd round. Still be hoping Blackburn that their season will end in Cardiff as well. The same very much applies to Arsenal. We're here for the Community Shield. Fabregas, Bergkamp. The play to the overlapping Lauren.
Well, that might be a booking. It should be if the referee decides. Dennis Bergkamp might be saying it's one, but it depends.
What sort of one?
Yeah, exactly, that's it. And if he's judged that the player's getting away from him, the Fabregas, he might have come close to getting the ball. That's what he's saying. But if the referee judges he hasn't, well, it's a bit of a jump from Emerton. Maybe that's what he was pleading, but the referee didn't see that. He's judged it's a foul, and if you're getting away from someone like that, you're going to get booked for it. It's poor.
Ryan Nelson trying a very ambitious cross-field ball. We're near finding his target, David Thompson.
I think it was missing was cross-field.
Nelson was playing in the United States, Major League Soccer, coming to England, the captain of the Kiwis. Lauren made very good ground. Fabregas only just kept it in play and couldn't get the angle to the cutback.
Arsenal are going to enjoy this better. You just feel that the last 4 or 5 minutes. That's a free kick. Off, just pulling Senderos' shot.
I think the viewers are going to enjoy it better as well, aren't they? Because with all the understanding that we have of how Blackburn set out their approach, having gone behind, Mark Hughes has responded maybe quicker than some to the need to pep it up, give himself more attacking options, but of course it comes at a price. The price might be a second Arsenal goal with Vieira. Trying to find a way out of trouble, and hasn't been able to do that. Perez again, Vieira again. Nicely worked. Cole lets it run. Fabregas! Charged down by Matteo.
Well, Blackburn have got to risk losing a second. That's why it'll open up. They've got to defend well. They've got to hope that they can see off Arsenal and defensively and then get one on their own. This was good football, as good as Arsenal have played. Kept possession, but it's a good block from Matteo. Gets out there quickly.
Had the shot. His only Premiership goal was against Blackburn back in August. Arsenal set that new record for beaten sequence in the top division of English football. Toure one-on-one with Dickoff.
Almost. Just bounced a bit high for Paul. Certainly there's an openness to the game.
The sun is shining on the occasion in more ways than one. Openness isn't a word that you associate with FA Cup semi-finals, and to be fair, feisty, yes.
I thought he stuck out a leg, Lucas Neal. I have to say, I'm miles away from it, you and I up here.
Fourth Blackburn name taken, Lucas Neal.
As he gets through there, he just has a look at them there, sticks a leg out, trips him up. I don't know what he's arguing about.
All back for Blackburn. Taken by Bergkamp. Claimed by Friedel, immediately looking to try and instigate a counter-attack.
He can. Ferguson just shut off for a fraction.
Reyes. Bergkamp on the prowl. Vieira. Elements of this Arsenal team, you wonder how much longer will we see them in the famous red and white with Perez into the role of the match winner in his 30s. And his third game, of course, leading from one-year contract to one-year contract. Still saying he'll accept a new deal if he's offered one.
And even the Arsenal skipper, who's subject to transfer talk at the end of every season.
There's certainly question marks about Jens Lehmann, although he hasn't had much of an examination as far as the semi-final has been concerned. This is fine from the Arsenal fans' point of view, and maybe from the Arsenal team's point of view, but it's still 1-0 with more than half an hour to go. Lauren.
Makes a difference when you don't have to chase again.
Cole. I've lost count now. It's exhibition stuff. Very frustrating for Mark Hughes, I'm sure, on the sidelines. Wanting his players to get close to Arsenal, but Pedersen now up alongside Dickoff. There are little holes here that Arsenal are threading the ball into in midfield.
Well, I tell you, if they find a goal at the end of this, we'll have to go back a while to count the passes, I'll tell you that.
Toure. But it is, in a way, a justification of how Blackburn set out at the start of the game. And they were frightened that this would happen in the first half. Fabregas. Pires. Could there possibly be an end product to it? And then finally, Ryan Nelson gets a Blackburn boot to the ball. Well, he didn't enjoy it.
No, he wouldn't enjoy it.
Fiery competitor as he is. Someone, maybe it's the time for Robbie Savage to get out there and his brand of midfield closing down.
The difficulty is that if a team has kept possession like that in the middle of the park, round about the halfway line, which Arsenal were, then unless your back four are brave enough to say to the four in front of you, push up, we'll take a chance, and it's really difficult for the midfield players to stop it happening.
Lauren.
But Arsenal just have to be careful. It's nice to, it's pleasing on the eye if you're an Arsenal fan and you keep in possession, but they're still only 1-0 up.
It's a fine dividing line between confidence and being complacent. And there's Stephen Reid in the penalty area, asking the question of Steve Dunn. Nelson. Emerton. Now Reid. Thompson. Bit of bounce-back ability here from Blackburn Rovers. There's also a fine line between confidence and arrogance as well. Arsenal have got to make sure that they don't cross. Thompson. Emerton. Brett Emerton for Blackburn. Lehmann, who's been underused, underemployed, wonders why suddenly Blackburn are coming at him.
Well, that's what happens. You know, it's a bit early to be showboating, and Arsenal did a bit of showboating in that passage of play they had. No doubt about it. And that's just a little reminder to Arsenal that rather than popping it across the halfway line and enjoying a bit of possession, maybe searching for a second goal to put the game beyond Blackburn is the best option.
It is time in a stadium that he knows very well indeed for Robbie Savage. Missed the last 6 Blackburn games with a groin problem. 70 minutes in the reserves in the week to suggest that he was ready for a return. David Thompson, understandably, his pride pricked by the decision to take him off. You would expect nothing less from such a real competitor, and he was just playing a little part in Blackburn rallying after that, to use your word, Andy, showboating from the team that continues to lead by a goal to nil. 1 goal to nil. Stephen Reid got to a threatening position here.
Well, this is the one where we talked about. He drove into the penalty area, and I think the referee got that light, but you saw the anxious look from the Arsenal skipper here. You watch this. See the little tug on the left arm? Now look at the look from Vieira. I think that's a guilty little look there. He knows he's pulled back Stephen Reid, and he has a little look at Steve Dunn, who did nothing.
Cole.
Well, the boys have done well downstairs. 45 passes, that passage of play. Arsenal made without interception.
Wow. Hasn't won them the cup tie. Dickoff. Raymond. Maybe again, bread and butter stuff, if there is such a thing. Intentions of either going off to ignominy or going to the FA Cup final. Or this year, returning here for the FA Cup final. Will be the last final in Cardiff. So maybe not the last semi. So an FA decision not yet made.
Well, you know the guy's just been filled with Gilberto. I can't help thinking that Patrick Vieira, the Arsenal skipper, must be the most pleased player. I just think there's a difference about Vieira's game when he's beside him. I've noticed it today. Not seen him as far forward in matches as he's been today, influence it high up the pitch, because he's happy he can leave Gilberto to deal with it. And I think when he plays with Fabregas and with Flamini, he's less so, and it does affect his game.
The Brazilian World Cup winner was out for almost 7 months.
Well, I think to compound it is Edu's absence as well.
I don't think you'll see Edu play for Arsenal again, unless it's a real emergency, because he's signed a free contract elsewhere.
That's an interesting one. He's just battered the ball into the stand. Ashley Cole. I mean, that's daft though. I mean, he goes over as a go at the referee. Why? He's battered it into the stand. What is the point in doing that? He knows he's going to get booked, surely.
Well, he's already seen a teammate booked for kicking the ball away.
Yeah, half the distance.
Yeah, well, I would say probably about a tenth of the distance.
You know, the ball's out, so leave it. And what do? You thump it into the stand. I mean, what is the sense in that?
Emerton. Savage. Mateo was looking for Robbie Savage again. Tally up to 7. Be a questionable one amongst them. And now again Arsenal thinking, why not let the referee deal with this?
But it's a token gesture from the guy. I don't know what Torre's problem is. It really was a token gesture from Emerton. And I just think he's sliding in here. He's making a token gesture. He's catches Lehman. The referee can deal with it. You're right, Martin. Just sliding in. Well, he did catch him. But his momentum in going to ground was always going to take him into the goalkeeper.
But it is a sign of their approach, Arsenal, that gets them more trouble than advantage.
And you wonder why. They're such a great footballing side. They're such a great football team. They're so good to watch. They've been so successful.
And there's Toure, who has been booked, deciding to take the matters into his own hand. It's daft, really, but anyway, it's 1-0. It's still game on as far as Blackburn Rovers are concerned. I'd love to get a goal to take it beyond the last quarter of the 90 minutes that remain. Dickoff. Corner. Blackburn's first.
Well, it's a game now.
Todd comes forward. Nelson, who's bigger and maybe a little bit more of a danger to Arsenal, is not being picked up by anyone, Ryan Nelson. Pires is the closest to him. Go for Nelson, that would be the percentage ball. Emerton, Matteo. Some difficulty, cleared by Kolo Toure. Good chasing by Bergkamp.
Yeah, he's a little unlucky, Matteo. He thought for sure it was going out, but full marks to Dennis Bergkamp. Didn't give it up. Arsenal are doing more defending than they feel they should be.
Well, Steve Dunn's got to work hard just to keep a lid on this, particularly with Robbie Savage adding an extra ingredient.
Well, he comes flying in, Savage. You can't quite see from where we're sitting, but he catches Fabregas, there isn't a doubt about that. You watch this as the ball's up, straight into the right knee, and then turn around. And the problem that the referees have, Martin, is that players, even though they know they're guilty of a bad tackle, as Savage was there, they'll turn around and have a go at the player lying on the ground as if he's lying there for no good reason.
The only thing I would say in that area of debate is referees who don't send players off for second bookable offences also leave the door open.
Yeah, no, but there's a difference between, you know, giving away free kicks and breaking the game up and rattling into people, you know, illegally. There is a difference with that. Sure.
Perez. Reyes chasing. Todd trying to see it out.
I wondered where Brad Friedel was. But this could be sparky the last 20 minutes. Keep your eye on it.
Reyes. A little bit late. Neil. Called Sparky.
Yeah, you feel he'd enjoy it, wouldn't you?
Yes. He wouldn't have let Arsenal have 45 passes without a tackle. But in those days, maybe he could boot somebody up in the air. Savage thinking about a quick free kick. It was almost on down that right-hand side.
Well, just wait, though. It's a good area to be delivering into the box from. Gives a chance for Todd and Matteo and Nelson. Well, to go up.
2 against 1.
Low.
Put forward by Savage. Lehmann. Gets it away from Nelson. Reed. Back in. There's Pedersen on the chase. And now it breaks for Perez. Blackburn worried that they might have been overcommitted. They've still got 4 back, and they've still got a real barnstorming piece of play from Stephen Reed.
Well, that's the risk that you have to take when you're 1 down. You have to risk getting broken against and getting punished.
Tim Sherwood made the point in our build-up, and Arsenal have been vulnerable to set pieces this season. Are you surprised that they just knocked the free kick in there?
I am. I'm surprised that the certain deliveries they've had, they've hit the front man every time.
Nelson.
I also think with Gilberto back, I talked about him attacking option. I also think it doesn't have helped them, and they're dealing with free kicks as well. He's big, he's good in the air. He works both penalty areas well.
Nelson. Getting the ball around Bergkamp with the help of Friedel. McQuainer. Has to go back to the goalkeeper as well. Guides it on. Dickoff trying to turn Sander off.
They'll get a free kick for that. It's one of those your defenders say I'm a bit unlucky because I don't think Paul Dickoff was going to get to the ball. As he turns here, the ball's well away from him. But they asked and they got it. And what they need is good delivery. And as I say, they stretch Vieira, Senderos, Torre and Gilberto into the danger areas and say, win it defensively. Then the 4 of them across the edge of the box there. Emphasis on those 4, win the header.
Pedersen takes it. Well, there was a flag raised on the far side. I'm not sure whether it was offside or just pointing to the goal kick.
No, offside. See it straight in a bit early. Nelson, was it?
It was offside, yeah. Isn't it? Also shows that they've worked hard at stopping Arsenal getting in behind them, although Bergkamp and Reyes both liking the ball to feet. steal a yard. Vieira, Savage. Now Matteo. Wouldn't have been the best scenario for Mark Hughes, but if you said to him before the game you're going to the last 15 minutes, you've 1-0 down, could have been worse.
Yeah, I mean, they've never looked like they were going to be swamped, and I mean, they had that little spell at the beginning of the second half when Arsenal just turned up the temperature a little and asked a couple of questions, and Friedel made a good save from Gilberto. But since then, since that passage of play, it's funny, isn't it? The 45 passes, it's almost like it annoyed Blackburn players.
Yeah.
You know, and they thought, well, this is not going to happen again, and they've actually done a decent job of taking the game to Arsenal since then.
Almost since that point, look at that. Statistical evidence. Point you made, Andy.
It's a bit the cross. Just looking at that going in, thinking, where's it going to drop?
Vieira trying to seize some initiative back, and he's got Savage breathing fire around him. Welsh fire, Welsh Stadium.
He's offside there, surely. Yeah. Coming from an offside position, got involved.
Helping to try and block the downfall of Arsenal. Blackburn Rovers' Eddie Niedzwiecki, who was a Highbury coach at the start of the season. His Welsh connection got him moved to Blackburn to join Mark Hughes' backroom staff, and Mark got the job at Ewood Park. Vieira. Cole. Arsenal haven't rediscovered their perception in their passing, but that was a better one from Vieira to Laurent. Fabregas hurdled Matteo's challenge. Young Spaniard, still only 17.
Tackle from Todd, but didn't do anything. Fabregas ran straight at him.
Pedersen doing a bit of running with the ball for Blackburn. Dickoff did well to hold to stay onside.
Well, I know
Matteo's given it.
Yeah.
Bent the wrong way.
Yeah, it's an ambitious pass.
Now Toure. Arsenal squandering possession in their own half, and Emerton couldn't take it on initially behind Laurent. But he gets his cross in. Sindros diverts it away from Pedersen. Reed. Neil.
It's a pity. We just lost the impetus of that last attack there, going all the way back. But you're right, Emerton could have taken that in his stride and out of his feet.
Arsenal's throw.
There's Dickoff in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Out there chasing a lost cause, trying to make something of it.
Football for you later today on Prem Plus, channel 433, Birmingham against Portsmouth. If Arsenal do get to the final, they've hardly blazed the trail, Andy. 6 games, including today, 7 goals, including the...
Yeah, but I think Arsenal will always look at it and say, well, we're there.
Yeah.
You know, they've had to do, and they haven't always picked their strongest side in this run through to the semi-final. They've picked the strongest side available today, make no mistake about that. There hasn't been many attempts, you see that there, only the 9 in total, very few on target, 6 of them. So not a lot in 70-odd minutes of football.
Matteo is not so comfortable with the ball on his right side.
Thank you.
Laurent. Bergkamp. hit Todd, no more than that. Todd tenacious in the tackle again. Toure. Now Savage.
Anything big was a ball.
Vieira. Perez breaks for Fabregas. That's where he'd like to be working on a more regular basis. And Fabregas rolls it beyond.
That's a save. That's a save. That's a save. Only a slight. I tell you, I don't know if it's going in. But Fabregas wants a corner here, and he's right to want a corner. It's across the goalkeeper. He gets the fingertips to it. Probably see it from here. It's not the best struck shot, but there's a little tips. Not sure if that was going in. Would it have sneaked in that corner? I don't think so. Goalkeeper doesn't know that.
It was a bold run. It deserved a stronger shot, really. 10 minutes left for Blackburn to find a goal to extend this FA Cup semi-final, give themselves a chance. Coming back to Cardiff on Saturday the 21st of May, 5 weeks' time.
I think the semi-finals, I say it every year, we come here. They're not always classics, like very few, but all the thing you want to do at the end of the 90 minutes at 120, you want to be the team that's going, coming back and going to the final. And that's all that matters, really. Whether you play well or whether you play not bad or whether you play poorly, you just want to win the game. And at the moment, that's exactly what Arsenal are doing.
And the second goal now would surely seal it, but Savage able to bunt the ball away. By Dickov, who has just rolled the ball away, but no more than maybe 5 yards. He did it cutely. Arsenal fans recognise it, that's why you heard the upturning noise. It's going to be a Bergkamp free kick. Arsenal already 1-0 to the good with a goal late in the first half from Robert Pires. Senderos, Gilberto, it's no goal. It's not even a goal in any case, but it would have not counted because the flag has gone up against the Brazilian.
Yeah, the only question mark would be Senderos, does he get it? Yeah, I think it's him. But he's definitely offside, but what an instinctive save from the goalkeeper.
Well, Dennis Bergkamp, we saw 6 years ago now, trudge off to Villa Park when his penalty should have sent Arsenal to an FA Cup final. He leaves with Arsenal closing in on an FA Cup final towards the close of his Arsenal career. And Robin van Persie, scorer of Arsenal's winner again at Blackburn only 4 weeks ago. And the tall figure of John Stead coming on for Mark Hughes. A striker for a defender, Dominic Matteo.
That has to be done. Not rocket science, they need a goal. They're throwing another front man on. Go 3 at the back.
Well, Stead has only scored 1 goal this season, but if he could double his tally in the next 7 minutes, he'll make himself a Rovers hero. It's Pires to Fabregas.
Arsenal would like another passage of play that gave them 25 passes, not maybe 45, just to take the sting out of this game.
And there's the long striding Stead. Yeah, it's a good start for him. Been a bit of an Achilles heel for Arsenal this season. Not being totally decisive in defending dead ball situations. Savage delivers this one. Done something straight away, really, before the ball arrived.
Time and again, though, that corner that doesn't clear the front post. And at a time when you're so late in the game, you need a good delivery.
Put away by Lauren. 6 minutes left. So many of these Arsenal players, like Lauren, with FA Cup winners' medals. It doesn't stop you wanting to do it all over again. Stead. Emerton. As he lost his balance, Touré stopped the ball being more threatening.
He didn't look comfortable, Emerton there, delivering that with the left foot, did he? Lovely run, did well.
Reyes. Cole. And appeal, but kept going. Gilberto. Lauren. And Percy made his Arsenal debut on this ground in the Community Shield in August. Trying to play a clever ball for Ashley Cole, but giving Friedel a chance to knock it long. Vieira. Roberto making an angle ahead of Lauren. Keep ball here, maybe from the Gunners. Demerton. Oh, and it's Reid coming onto it. As good a chance as Blackburn have had.
That was a rather tame header. Almost just let it hit him rather than put any power in it.
Vieira.
That is a difference in many respects. I've seen the teams is that Arsenal put something like that together at the top end. They have the players to provide them with that sort of finish.
But Andy, you can understand why at Highbury they're referring to him as the new Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah,
that kind of footwork.
That was brilliant. I'm not so sure he'll be as creative as Dennis, as cute as Dennis. He may score more goals than Dennis. And then what I've seen already, he looks like he's got goals in him. He's certainly got ability.
Well, the real thing looks at the man who may take on his mantle. Has certainly made another significant stride forward here by helping Arsenal do just that in the FA Cup. So Blackburn have sort of been worn down really in each half. They've conceded late in both ends of the ground.
Yeah, they have. Isn't it amazing? 2 or 3 minutes from the end of each half, Mark Hughes' side have conceded. It's maybe naturally they concede a goal late on in the second half, chasing the 1-0. They might get a little stretched, and they were a little stretched at the back. It's understandable. But take nothing away from the quality of the Van Persie finish. It was a fabulous individual goal.
We talked briefly in the first half, Andy, about changing times maybe at Arsenal, you know, and they have got a crop of young players.
Yes,
as the League Cup has shown the last 2 or 3 years what resources Arsene Wenger is assembling underneath the senior players.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about him, and Fabregas was on, Flamini, who isn't, Clichy, another. Oh.
And this is Fabregas, and back for Friedel. Yeah. Who has done all he possibly could today.
That would have been harsh. I scored, thank you for saying it, but certainly hasn't got a 3-0 scoreline on it this game, but it might well have been there. Talk about the good young players, man, but what they're going to need, Senderos is another. They're going to need that crop of experienced players they've got in there as well to see them through. The transition from being good first-team players to being championship-winning players. But they've had a kick up the backside this season, Arsenal, along with Manchester United, with what's happened at Stamford Bridge down to Kings Road. And they'll be aware of it next season when it starts.
Well, here's another of the younger players coming on, and one going off in Jose Antonio Reyes. Jeremy Aliadier, who was seriously injured here in August in the Community Shield. and has only made one brief previous substitute appearance since then, which was in the FA Cup against Sheffield United. It was a little sentimental gesture, this, by Arsene Wenger, I think, for a fellow Frenchman. He's been rattling in the goals in the reserves since he regained fitness. Well, Andy Todd, who has made great play in the last few weeks about curbing past problems, now with the captain's armband, it's quite a turnaround. He was totally out of favour under Graham Souness. He's been Mark Hughes' man for the job.
Well, only Andy Todd knows how much that was deliberate there. And I can't tell you. I can't tell you from what we've seen. It was a huge coming together, and he's had a real whack. And I don't know whether the arm, it's hard to see whether the elbow comes out deliberately and catched him, but as he turns away and he's wheeling away, and Todd's just running in. And that's a difficult one to predict. We can only trust Andy Todd's account of it, will be that he didn't mean it and it was an accident, but I'm sure there are plenty of Arsenal players out there, Perez being one of them, who's had a word with him. Plenty of fans will feel there was deliberate there, and no doubt Arsene Wenger will feel the same, but as I say, only Andy Todd knows if there was a little neat jet reaction out or whether it was an accidental coming together.
He hangs his head, but maybe that's because they're 3-0 down.
Yeah. Well, at the end it's been emphatic.
Well, it would be too simplistic to say that it summed up that moment, the difference in approach, the quality of Van Persie's finish, and well, the physical element from Blackburn Rovers. It hasn't been a case of trying to batter Arsenal, but it's a moment that will be shown over and over again for two reasons. A superb strike by Robin Van Persie, and then the next piece of contact that he experienced from the Blackburn captain, Andy Todd. 3-0. Van Persie has absolutely embroidered the semi-final late on with 2 goals having been sent off by Arsene Wenger. No doubt that Arsenal deserve to go through. Whether the margin is a bit cruel on Blackburn, possibly so, but it's a 4th FA Cup final in 5 years for Arsenal. There's no coming back to Cardiff for Blackburn. Andy Todd making his explanations there as if to say it was an accident, as Andy Gray summed up splendidly. Really, only Andy Todd knows. South Wales almost a second home for the Wenger boys, and even Robin Van Persie had played here before, but never quite like this. And semi-finals usually matches of few goals. Arsenal have managed 3, and 2 of them, well, simply sensational. No chance for Brad Friedel with all the goals, and the Van Persie double will make the headlines. And it's made sure that Arsenal's season, which started here with the Community Shield, a showpiece against Manchester United, will end here against a United from either Manchester or Newcastle in 5 weeks' time. Happily, Van Persie's okay. I mean, that could have been far more damage. I wonder how much he knew about that second goal that he scored.
Oh, he knew. He saw it going. He was reeling away. But it's been like that. Arsenal have had to dig today. I think they got the kind of game that they must have expected. He can't have dreamt, well, he might have dreamt about his inclusion, and he might have dreamt that he would come on and get a match-winning goal. He's come on and settled it emphatically in Arsenal's way with 2 superb, that's the best word to describe him, 2 superb finishes. And the best team are going through to come back here on the 21st of May and contest this final, be it against a Newcastle or a Manchester United.
Perez with the first, and then Van Persie's double act. It was Robin, it wasn't robbery. Arsenal deservedly through by 3 goals to 0.
They'll be back here in 5 weeks, May the 21st, for the FA Cup final. We'll be back shortly. Before we take a break, a couple of matches to steer you in the direction of. Today, 5 o'clock, it's a pay-per-view offering, channel 433 for details. Birmingham play Portsmouth, who aren't safe yet. And there are 2 matches from the Premiership on Wednesday night. Both kick off at 8 o'clock. Our build-up starts at 7 on Sky Sports 1. We're at Stamford Bridge to watch Chelsea play Arsenal. Also playing at Goodison at the same time, Everton and Manchester United. That's Wednesday night, live. 2 from the Premiership. 2 late Van Persie goals made absolutely sure for Arsenal. Alan Smith and Tim... Doesn't get any better, that, does it? We're back in Cardiff next.